Trouble down in Aggie land. Obviously, Texas A&M, that loss to App State, not great. Fan base, you know it. And by the way, that schedule's not getting any easier anytime soon. You got to play Miami this week. So what happened to Texas A&M, specifically offensively? Remember, this is an App State team. It's not like they were a defensive juggernaut. The week before, they gave up 63 points and 567 yards to North Carolina. And then Texas A&M went out there and laid a total egg. So let's take a look at what went on down at Kyle Field. All right, let's start with three main points here that I think really the style of game. A&M only had 41 offensive plays and only 186 yards. So offensively, part of the issue was the fact that A&M's defense couldn't get off the field and couldn't give them the ball. App State had a great game plan. The style of game certainly went against the A&M offense. Hard to get in a rhythm from a quarterback perspective or even a play selection perspective. But I did think that the game plan and play selection was interesting at times. The one series that they did score an offensive touchdown, I thought that they did a nice job running the football. And then there were times during the game that on first and second down, they would do a nice job running the football, but then they would abandon it. Let me show you exactly what I mean here. This is a 3rd and 1 in this ball game. Now, App State's going to blitz. Okay, so Haynes King, he's going to come up and he's going to check the play. He sees one-on-one on the outside. The problem is that he's trying to throw a bubble screen to the slot receiver, and that slot receiver then has to catch it and make a move and get away from the defender. Now, Jimbo Fisher is going to be yelling at the other wide receiver, why didn't you block the other guy? But that still would have left a corner that you have to beat in a one-on-one situation running that football. If anything, if you're going to check, fine. Don't run the ball into that blitz, but throw a slant to the top of the screen. Okay, throw a slant to the one-on-one to the top. I didn't love the play selection at times from Jimbo Fisher in this offense. I think that led to some of their problems on the offensive side. And then it brings me to the last section of this. Listen, you can't play that poorly without everybody being at fault. It's not one person. Was the game plan not great? Yeah, it wasn't great. Was the defense poor? Yes, they were poor. But the offensive players also didn't execute, and that was one of the main reasons why they faltered. Let's take a look at the video now, and I'll show you. First of all, this is a 3rd down, and I want you to watch this top defensive end and this right offensive tackle. Watch this play. Bam, just throws him to the ground. Guys, you can't play well on the offensive side when your offensive tackle gets absolutely thrown. Just look at this, thrown to the ground. Then there's a fumble. By the way, that turned into a turnover because this offensive lineman doesn't fall on the ball. He tries to run with it. App State recovers it, and they ended up going and scoring a touchdown on the ensuing drive. That's just poor play. All right, but it didn't stop at the offensive line. I also thought Haynes King needed to execute better. There was a few things that he did that I think he needs to change. One, he needs to anticipate throws and windows down the field, and then he's got to be more accurate with the football, namely throwing the ball on time. It goes back to the anticipation thing. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Several instances here. First of all, right here, he's got a low dig and a high dig, a crossing route and a high dig. He's got to read that linebacker. If the linebacker stays up like he did, that ball's going to come out right away. There was no reason for him to leave the pocket. That ball should have come out on time and on rhythm to that top dig route. But as it was, he runs out of the pocket because he wasn't ready to throw, and then he throws the ball and it's out of bounds, and then they have to punt. So that's a problem. Let's continue to look at the tape here. Okay, this is right at the end of the ball game, the last 2 snaps of the game. All right, he's got this post route. It's wide open, but watch how long he takes in the delivery. 1, 2, 3. Now a long step, long throw, bam, behind the wide receiver. That wide receiver is wide open, running right down the middle of the field. That ball's got to be on the front of his frame, easily for a first down, probably running towards the end zone. But the ball is thrown late. He wasn't anticipating, and it was an inaccurate throw. Let's take a look at the last play of the game, offensively for A&M. They get man-to-man. He's got the crossing route wide open. I mean, there's nobody in front of him, and he runs around in the pocket, then throws back across his body. It's behind the wide receiver, and he can't run after the catch. Yards after the catch is a combination of timing and ball placement. Okay, timing plus ball placement equals yards after the catch. And when you don't have those two things, then you can't be explosive on offense. So a lot of things went wrong for Texas A&M on Saturday. The style of game, the game plan and play selection, and then poor play and execution specifically from the offensive line and the quarterback. It's got to get corrected because, folks, if you look at that schedule right now for the rest of the season for A&M, they've got Miami. They've got some tough opponents, obviously, in the SEC. You're staring down the barrel of another season in which they fall woefully short of expectations, maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 losses, and nobody wants that there for Texas A&M. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.